Imagine typing a few sentences and hearing them read back in a voice that sounds like it belongs in a professional studio. Today, I'm going to show you how AI can clone voices, including mine, and the results are shocking. Buckle up because this is AI for everyone. Welcome to AI for Everyone. I'm Joel Comm. This is the show where we make AI easy, useful, and fun. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so that you don't miss any future episodes. And if you want to explore other AI tools, I've got 2 free reports for you. Just click the link right here at aishow.io/free. Now, as I've announced in previous episodes, I'm recently engaged to my fiance, Erin Sell, and did a really fun proposal for her just a couple weeks back. I wanted to put together a short movie trailer that would celebrate this, and I used AI to help me write a script, and then I went to a tool that I'm about to show you to create a narration for it with a professional voice that is AI generated. Let's take a look at that right now.
He said he'd never get married again. She said, "We'll see." After 9 years together, countless adventures, and more patience than anyone could imagine, Joel finally asked the question, and Erin said, yes. From the man who brought you the iFart app and the woman who waited almost a decade, comes the love story AI didn't see coming. It's About Time, starring Joel Comm and Erin Sell. The sequel he swore he'd never make.
Now, apart from the video being edited, the part that I really want you to pay attention to is the narration. This was created using a tool called ElevenLabs. And ElevenLabs can take plain text and turn it into studio quality audio for dozens of different voices and accents in as many different applications as you can think of. Let's take a look at it. The website is ElevenLabs.io, and you can sign up for free, and there are some basic tools that you can use. For example, you can go in and do this. So we're going to start right here in the voice library, and you'll notice that there's trending voices, but there's a whole lot more than the ones that are just trending. We can go to all of the voices right here, click default voices, and let's listen to a couple of these.
You got to be careful if you don't know where you're going because you might not get there.
I'd rather regret the things that I've done than the things that I have not done.
It is not so important to know everything as to appreciate what we learn.
Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none.
Now, these are just sample of some of the voices, and ElevenLabs tells you some of the uses that the voices might be best applicable for, whether it's conversational, characters and animation, entertainment and TV, social media. Let's go ahead and try the script that I wrote with Rachel's voice right here. And we just click right on the side where it says use voice. And I've got pasted in here the dialogue that I wanted it to use. And let's see what she sounds like. Now, once I click.
He said he'd never get married again. She said, we'll see. After 9 years together, countless adventures, and more patience than anyone could imagine, Joel finally asked the question.
That's a sample of one. Let's go ahead and pick another voice. How about Grandpa Spuds Oxley? He's an older, gentle, English male. And let's go ahead and generate the same manuscript with this voice.
He said he'd never get married again. She said, we'll see. After 9 years together, countless adventures, and more patience than anyone could imagine. Joel finally asked the question.
Let's try something different now. We'll go to Epic Voices. And let's give a couple of these a try here and see what they sound like.
I've failed over and over and over again in my life.
That's a good one. Let's just go ahead and use this one here. We're going to add it to my voices. Then we're going to go to my voices and we're going to pick Carter the Mountain King and say use voice. And then we're going to paste this limerick into it and have it generate the speech.
There once was a fellow named Joel whose stories could brighten a soul. With AI at play, he'd wow every day, making learning both fun and the goal.
So you get the idea. There's a lot of different voices that you can choose from here. Where it really gets interesting is when you start doing custom voices. Over here on the right side, you'll see create or clone a voice. Now, whereas the ready-made voices are part of the basic free plan. If you want to create or clone a voice, then you will need to pay for the service. The good news is that ElevenLabs starts at just $5 a month, which is pretty much enough for anybody that wants to use it as an amateur. So what we're going to do here is we're going to clone my voice. And it says it'll take 2 minutes to do this. Now, if you have a ready-made file with your voice on it, you can just upload it here. But in my case, I'm going to record audio. I'm going to enable the microphone, and then I'm going to click start. And now I'm just going to speak into the microphone and give it something to work with so it knows how to replicate my voice. If you'll notice, it wants 30 seconds of audio to get a really good feel of what the voice is like, but really only 10 seconds of audio is required for ElevenLabs to be able to clone your voice. The longer the sample of audio you provide, the better results you'll get. And you can see we've got our recording right here. And the checkbox is on for remove background noise from audio recordings. I've got an air conditioning unit running right down here, so it'll get rid of that. And then I'll click next. I'm going to name the voice Joel, AI for everyone. The language is English. Now, like many AI tools, the service wants to make sure that you're not infringing on anybody's copyright. And by checking the box, you're saying that you have rights to the voice. Of course, I have rights to my own voice. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to save it. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to generate speech with my voice. Now we're going to use my cloned voice to say words that I've never spoken. In fact, I wanted to talk about a topic that I had no understanding of. So I asked ChatGPT to write me a paragraph on how to prepare for the Olympic pole vault event. And this is what it gave me. Now we're going to go ahead and tell it to generate this speech, and then we'll listen to me talk. But remember, it's not me talking. It's my cloned voice generated with AI. To truly prepare for the Olympic pole vault, one must embrace not merely the mechanics of running with a fiberglass spear, but the philosophy of flight itself. It is a discipline where physics and poetry converge. Every sprint down the runway a prelude, every plant of the pole a conversation with gravity. The athlete must cultivate explosive strength in the legs, uncanny timing in the arms, and a serene fearlessness in the heart. For in those few seconds, the human body becomes an arrow daring the sky to object. Training is not about clearing bars, it is about defying doubt, vault after vault, until the impossible feels inevitable. What do you think of that? Sounded like me, right? I never actually spoke those words, though. Now, you might remember in a previous episode of this show, we talked about AI scams to watch out for. And one of the scams that's being perpetrated on people is done using voice cloning tools. You might remember that I said if you get a phone call from somebody that sounds like a family member or a friend who's in crisis and is asking you for money, to not assume that it's real, especially if they're panicked and they need it right now. You want to make sure that you pull on that family safe word that only you and those close to you know. And if you get a call like that, you'll say, wow, that sounds really horrible. Before we go any further, please tell me our family safe word so I can make sure it's really you. If it's a scammer, they're not going to know. And if they insist that it's still them, you say, I'm going to call you right back. You hang up, you call that person and say, did you just call me with an emergency? Odds are they're going to say, no, why? And if they say, yeah, it's me, I forgot our family safe word, then you'll know that you're dealing with an actual crisis. Well, that's all fun and good, right? But let's talk about some of the personal applications, some ways in which you might use a voice cloning tool for your life. Well, how about narrating family stories? You can upload written memories or letters and have them read aloud in a warm, natural voice. How about bedtime stories for your grandkids? You type in a story, generate character voices so that each bedtime story feels like an audiobook. In fact, you might remember a previous episode where we used Google Gemini to create a storybook. What if you could go ahead and put the voice you want with that storybook? How about for personal announcements? Whether it's a wedding engagement or a birthday, you can voice them as dramatic trailers. You can do comedy skits. You could do event narrations. And what if you just want to have fun with something like poetry and jokes? You could do limericks, short rhymes, dad jokes, make them come alive with professional delivery. What about some practical everyday uses like accessibility? Perhaps you want to create audio versions of articles or emails for easier listening. Maybe you want to practice hearing a phrase in a clear language before repeating it if you want to learn a different language. Perhaps AI can speak to you as a travel guide to tell you local info in the chosen voice for on the go help ahead. Maybe you want to have recipes read to you, how to guides, even medical instructions in a friendly spoken word. There's a bunch of creative, entertaining ways to use cloned voices as well. What if you want to turn written notes, blogs, or even old journals into audio archives or create a podcast? What if you want to add narration to travel videos, to family highlight reels, or anniversary montages? That's some really great ways to use voice for video imaging. Maybe you want to sync silly lyrics for a cloned or stylized voice just for laughs. And then there's the more thought provoking and serious uses of the tool. You could record and clone a parent's or grandparent's voice so that future generations can hear from them. What if you've got to give a presentation and you're not confident in your own voice? Well, you can generate a confident narrator to do the heavy lifting for you. And this gives you awareness of the deep fakes that I warned about. You can learn how the real tech sounds to better spot misuse of it. Here's another really fun feature for you to try on ElevenLabs, where it says ElevenLabs Agents. We're going to go ahead and click on that. Then we're going to click where it says Playground. This is a place where we can talk with a cloned voice on a very specific topic. The examples they've given us are a support agent, a mindfulness coach, a sales agent, and a video game character. You know, his name is Callum, and that sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to say, try a call.
Greetings, traveler. How can I assist you on your quest?
I am on a quest to share the magic of AI with as many people as possible.
Ah, a quest of a different sort, but a noble one nonetheless. To share the magic of AI, a worthy endeavor indeed. Tell me, brave adventurer, what wonders of this AI do you seek to unveil? Perhaps I can offer some guidance, though my expertise lies more in the realms of spellcasting and gemstone hunting.
I want to demystify AI for the viewers and listeners of my show by making it easy, useful, and fun.
Excellent, a most worthy goal. To make the arcane arts of AI accessible and enjoyable, a challenge even for a seasoned wizard like myself. I sense a great adventure ahead. Perhaps we can begin by exploring the basic elements. What aspects of this AI do you find most perplexing or most intriguing? What mysteries do you wish to unravel for your audience?
Well, Callum, we can go into that later. Right now, my audience is actually listening.
Ah, a most pressing matter. The attention of an audience is a precious thing, like a rare gemstone. Very well, let us seize this moment. Tell me, what is the focus of your show? What wonders of Labs Onia? I mean AI. Do you wish to present to your listeners first? Do you seek to explain its basic principles, or perhaps showcase its more fantastical applications?
You can see the applications here. You can create all kinds of agents that with a prompt will behave in a manner that you want them to. Now, you know, I don't like to overcomplicate things, and there's no reason for you to use the advanced utilities on the site if you don't want to. But what I've shown you today, you can easily do. Go to ElevenLabs.io and pick the voices, type in some text, and see the speech that you get back. I think you'll have a lot of fun with that. So here are my questions. What would you want AI to narrate for you? And would you trust AI to give a speech for you at a wedding or a birthday party? Do you think voice cloning is exciting or is it scary? Well, if you've enjoyed this today, don't forget to hit subscribe so that you are notified of all future episodes. The AI for Everyone audience is growing, and I really appreciate your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, and maybe share the show with somebody else that you think could benefit from it. I'm really having a lot of fun bringing you this content. It hits my sweet spot of making seemingly complex subject matter easy for you to understand. So I'll catch you next time. And remember that AI is for everyone, including you. Beep boop.